You're listening to the Sasha Davis Podcast, a show about overcoming fear and manifesting your dream life. Each week, we'll dive deep into real stories and tangible advice about spirituality, law of attraction, mindset, and money so that you can be your happiest, healthiest, and most abundant self. You ready? Here we go. You're more than welcome. So welcome, manifest your dream life. Today in this workshop, I really want to guide you through the few tools, steps, things that I do kind of on a daily basis to help me manifest my dream life, right? And we'll even talk about what manifestation is, because I find that as women, as humans, as individuals, we tend to overcomplicate this concept. And really all manifestation means is to take something from thought into your physical reality. And it can be that simple. So anything in your life that was once a thought that now became your physical reality, something that you can see, smell, touch, hear, that in of itself is a manifestation. So I find that a lot of times people say, well, I can't manifest, or I don't know how to manifest. Or we see these, these gurus out there talking about the law of attraction, and it doesn't make sense to us, right? They talk about it in a way that we're like, what the hell are they talking about? You have to be some kind of person on top of a mountain, spiritual, whatever, in order to manifest or to be your highest self. And it's not that. It can seriously be super, super simple. And that's what I want to do today, is just simplify the steps that an everyday person can use to use the law of attraction to manifest things that they desire in their life in order to be them best selves, in order to, essentially live the life that they want to. Okay. So that is going to be what this is all about. It's very conversational too. So I want you guys to feel free to type anything in the chat box. We'll go through, I'll give you guys some time. This is going to be very workshop style. So we'll have a few breaks in between where I'll give you guys a little bit of space to journal, to reflect throughout this. So if you have a notebook and a pen, paper, anything, notes on your phone, anything like that, to where you can just do a little bit of self-reflection. And if you're driving, if you're doing something right now, don't worry, you can always come back to this. You can kind of just visualize it in your head as we go along. Oh, we got more people joining. Okay. And I'm sure we'll have some people join in on as we go through. So I can always, we may have to stop and add some more people in here. But yeah, if you guys have questions along the way, please feel free to pop those in the chat box. We are going to be doing a live Q&A at the end. So I want you guys to share a little bit of your takeaways or any questions that you have on your personal experience, anything that you've been trying to manifest or use the law of attraction in your personal life. And that way I can give you a little bit of guidance on that, because I know that was super helpful for me when I first went through this. I read all the books, I did all the podcasts, I was listening, and I felt like I was doing the things, but I constantly felt like I was doing it the wrong way. And so I want to just be able to give you that feedback, that guidance, that reassurance, that validation that yes, you are on the right path, because there's nothing worse than killing our dreams with self-doubt or self-sabotage or some of these old habits setting in. Okay. So that is what I want to help you with. And we'll kind of go through all of that as we kind of progress through the workshop. Okay. Plan on being here about 60 to 90 minutes. That's usually how these run. If you need to hop off early, completely understand. Again, this will be available for the next 48 hours. So I will have the replay available later today. I will be announcing prizes throughout, and we'll kind of get into what that looks like. Let's see. Who else do we have here? I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody real fast. I think everybody is muted, but just to make sure, because I know sometimes you can hear things in the background. And I'm a mom. I have dogs. I have, there's my husband's upstairs doing renovations. So I totally understand if something happens and you're like, oh shit, is she hearing me? And da, 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 da. We're all human. Okay. I'm human. Yes, I know I look a little bit done up today. I tried to impress you ladies. Actually, I was feeling, honest truth, my kids were sick Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I thought I was in the clear I was not. So Monday, Tuesday, I was like totally down and out. So today I feel like a human and I was, ready to get dressed up and do this presentation. So here we are. I'm just a human wanting to teach other humans. All right, so let's get into it. Okay. Everybody have your pen and paper ready. Get ready to have some fun too. Okay, so kind of the agenda. I'm not much of an agenda person, but I find that a lot of people are. So this I put together for you guys, for those who are like, what can we expect? This is what you can expect. Okay, so I'm trying to be on my A game here for you ladies. First thing we're going to do is a couple of prizes. Okay. So I have like this fun spin the wheel thing, and then everybody who attends today, and then those who have registered, I have everybody's name in a wheel spin. So it's going to be a random name picker. This isn't anything that I'm like going through and pre-selecting or anything like that. It is very much real time. I will announce the winner, and anybody who wins a prize will have to email the support@sashadavis.com email address to claim their prize. Okay. And I will have that again in the replay instructions for anybody who I announce their name and they win. Please email support@sashadavis.com and we will make sure to get that prize over to you ASAP. Okay. Next thing I'm going to discuss is who am I? I'm not going to spend a lot of time in here. I find that, if you have more questions about my personal experience, chat, put them in the chat box. We can talk about them in the Q&A for those who are really interested. One of my pet peeves is when I join a workshop and they continuously just talk about themselves for 30 minutes. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk about myself in about 3 minutes so you guys can have who I am in a nutshell. And then we're going to go from there. If you have questions about, any of my experience, we can talk more about that in live Q&A. Okay. I very much want this to be about you, not about me. Okay. Then we're going to dive into the 4 steps of manifestation, at least the 4 steps that I have uncovered in manifestation. You may see others out there. This is based on my personal experience. This is not to say that any other experts out there are incorrect. This is just what I know works for me. Okay. And there's a lot of layers within these 4 steps, but I want to try to simplify these 4 steps as much as possible. Okay. And so we're going to do a little bit workshop style within those 4 steps. And then we'll move on to more prizes. Then we'll do the Q&A. We'll do another cash giveaway. And then I can kind of tell you what's next after that for anybody that wants to stick around to kind of hear how I can support you. Okay. Again, we're not going to spend a lot of time on that either, because that's one of my other pet peeves with workshops is where people just talk about themselves the whole time or sell something the whole time. So that is not the purpose of this. I very much want to be supportive. Okay. So that's kind of what the agenda is, what you guys can expect over this next 60 to 90 minutes. Okay, giveaway time. First thing that we're going to do is give away a prize. Today, what we're going to do is the first one we're going to do is a personal development book giveaway. And this is actually going to be in the form of an Amazon gift card. I have so many recommendations on books that I love that I couldn't just pick one. So I did, we're going to do an Amazon gift card giveaway. And give me 1 second. We're going to share this screen here so you guys can kind of see who wins. Nod your head if you can see my wheel spinner. Okay, cool. Here we go. This is going to be the first person. I love these things. I just get so excited. Sometimes I wish I was on like a game show. Courtney McLeod, you are our first winner. You get a $25 Amazon gift card to purchase any personal development book. I mean, you can use it for whatever. My recommendation would be to get yourself some books, but feel free to use it however you choose. That is going to be our first winner. So go ahead and email support@sashadavis.com to claim that prize and we'll get you taken care of. Okay. Next, who is Sasha Davis and what the heck is she manifesting? Okay. You hear me talk about this a lot, and I have stories upon stories of things that I've been able to manifest, from cars to homes to, some of the coolest things have been like lottery winnings or casino winnings, or I won like a week and a half long or a week long all-inclusive luxury vacation to Maui, like just all kinds of things, right? So like, I'm not totally full of shit, I promise. This stuff works, and I want to teach you guys how I do this, all right? So just a few things about myself. these are kind of my values here, the things that I represent in a nutshell. I mean, there's way more to me, but this is kind of me in a nutshell right now. So I love to travel. You will see me, if you look at my Instagram, you see me probably all over the place. And we're actually in the process of selling this house, which is why my husband is upstairs renovating. And we're going to travel until we find our dream property. It kind of scares the crap out of me to say that out loud because, for so long you like try to keep things like, oh, is this really going to happen? You kind of get, nervous or worried about it. But part of law of attraction and manifestation is trusting the process. That is completely part of it. So I'm trusting the process that, we're going to sell this house and the perfect place at the perfect time, at the perfect price is going to come up. And I'm just holding that vision and I'm not letting doubt take it away from me. Okay. So that's one aspect of me. Family. I love my family. I am a soon to be mom of 3. I am pregnant with our 3rd and I am due in July. Let's see, I've been with my husband I think we've been married for 6 years and I think we've been together 12 maybe. I was that person who, I was kind of a rebel growing up, never wanted to get married. Like I was not settling down. And I wasn't going to have kids. And now here I am with 3 on the way. So never say never. And things come to you as they should. Right. And then last but not least, law of attraction. So I found the law of attraction. It was late 2006 when the movie, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this movie. Type in the chat box if you've watched the movie or read the book. Hey, Courtney, I just saw that you text. I saw that. Okay, cool. Glad that you're here. And yes, go ahead and email support@sashadavis.com and I will get you your prize. Okay. Anyways, law of attraction. If you've seen this movie, The Secret, or read the book, The Secret, type it in the chat box. I'm curious on how many people know what this is. So this is where I first started my journey with law of attraction. And it wasn't by choice. It was actually forced upon me in a philosophy class that I was taking at the university. Yep. Seen it. Okay. Yep. Quite a few of you. Okay, cool. So this is where like my whole journey started with this. We were forced to watch this movie and God, at the time I thought it was such BS. I was like, seriously, like this sounds like a load of, you know what I mean? Like I was not in a headspace to be able to accept it, but our assignment was to create a vision board. And so, if I wanted to pass the class, I had to do the vision board. And so I went through the vision board and I kid you not, within a year, almost everything on that vision board had come true. And looking back at it, like a year later, I was like, holy smokes, like this is unreal. Like I can't even imagine, it just got the wheels turning, And so it sent me down this path of I couldn't get enough. And I'm sure you guys have been in that place where you find something or you're passionate about something and it's like all you do is absorb that information. It's like you're obsessed with it. And until this day, I'm still obsessed with it. And so that's what I want to teach you guys really today is how I found the law of attraction, how I've managed to make sense of it, because it's more than just putting thoughts out into the world. Like you really have to be intentional about it. And there's a large emotional guidance piece that comes with it. I find that the more emotionally in tune we are with the thing that we desire most, that is where we'll call it into us. Okay. And so that's kind of what I want to help you with today. All right. So the 4 steps that we're going to talk about today are clarity. Okay. So how to gain clarity on your big vision or that deep desire. Okay. That's going to be step number 1. Step number 2 is going to be letting go of any of those thoughts, feelings, or emotions that come up as we think about the thing that we desire. So this a lot of times is where we feel like imposter syndrome, or we're not good enough, or is this even possible? I feel guilty for, wanting more money, or I feel guilty for wanting to spend more time with my family. All of these things come up. Or sometimes we even say, oh, well, this is just another thing on my to-do list. It's just going to overwhelm me. And so I want to squash all of those beliefs, because all of those beliefs are actually going to add resistance to whatever it is that you desire most. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is abundance. And I put here how to create an abundance of time, energy, and money. But you'll actually find that you don't really create abundance because abundance is already there. You have to align with the energy of abundance. And so I'll kind of walk you through how we can do that as well. Okay. Because I find that when you're in a state of abundance or a state of joy, you can attract more good feeling things into you. And I'll kind of go into that a little bit more here. And then last but not least is take inspired action. And so this is where something will come into your path, and it will keep coming into your path until you take action on it. I'm sure you guys have seen this where all of a sudden you'll hear something or you'll see something and you'll be like, holy smokes, that's crazy that just came up. And it's almost like you're being forced into that direction. It's like there's a magnet, something there like pulling you towards it. And even if you tried not to do it, you felt like you would have to do it. Okay. And inspired action can be baby steps, or it can be these humongous transformational steps. It's every person's path is unique. And so there's no comparison here. This is where I really want you guys to put the blinders on. Think of like a horse pulling a carriage, right? They have their blinders on. They're looking at where they're going, not where they've been and not where anybody else is going. Okay. They're really focused on their path. And that's what I really want you guys to do during this workshop too. You're going to see other people's experience, or maybe even my experience, but we've all been put here for a reason. We all have different unique life experiences. And so it's not up to us to judge or compare to one another. Everybody is on their own path. So put those blinders on and just keep moving forward. Okay. That is probably like my biggest advice. All right. So how to gain clarity on your big vision. First thing that I want to talk about is writing down what you do not want. And I mean this in a way because most people, and you may not be most people, that's okay. But most people will say, well, I know what I don't want, right? And forget the typos. I don't proofread. I'll just be honest. So I just saw a couple and now it's going to bother me, but whatever, it is what it is. So what I want you to do right now is just everybody, if you're not driving, okay, I want you just to sit back in your chair. And this is something that I do all the time because I find that we can get really tense or we can get really overwhelmed and we start to chest breathe. And that's causing even more fear, more anxiety. So when we chest breathe up here, it's actually causing more tension in our body. So everybody, what I want you to do if you're not driving is just take a sit back for a second, close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. Okay. Go ahead and just take 3 deep breaths. I'm going to do this along with you. Close your eyes in through your nose and exhale, blow it all out. Deep belly breaths. When we breathe from the belly, we relax. All right. And now I'm going to play a little bit of music here. And I really want you just to take a few moments to reflect on what's not working in your life. Okay. That's the only thing I want you to work on right now is what is not working in your life. What don't you want? Okay. And this can be, here we go. Got some music going for you. This can be money, this can be time, this can be your kitchen or your spouse or your job or your clothes or your car. What's not working in your life? I'll give you just a moment here. All right, I'll give you another moment to finish up that thought. And when you're ready, go ahead and type a few of those things in the chat box, because it will help me with this next step. All right, I see a few coming in. Once I get a few more, we're going to do a little bit of an exercise. Okay. So just to name a few examples here. One, we have my crazy schedule, getting enough exercise in, taking time for family and friends. Another is debt, time, and energy for exercise, procrastination, unbalanced nutrition, not laughing enough, not prioritizing me. I don't want to be anxious about anything. I don't always want to be at the office. I don't want to fail another test. I don't want to be out of shape. Debt, comparison, unhealthy eating, short temper. Yes. Yep. Yep. Always late, having more time with my daughter, bigger house, more patience. Yep. I feel you guys there. And it's so easy for us to write the things that we don't want, right? So easy for us. And even going back to this first one, I just to point some things out. And again, this is just to help you guys to be mindful, to be aware of how we feel, the language we use, and the energy that we're putting out into the world. Okay. And don't worry, we're going to get through this. And the biggest thing here is I want you all to just take a moment and congratulate yourself that you carved out this time to even be here. Like, that's huge. I remember a point in my life where I could not imagine setting aside an hour, let alone an hour and a half of my day to watch something like this or to, try to benefit myself. I was constantly in the mindset of like, go, 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 go. There's not enough time. There's not enough money. I got to be hustling. And those are all stories. And so those are some of the things that we're going to let go of here in step number 2. But just to go back to like this first one, my crazy schedule. So the one thing that I want to say there is when you put adjectives like crazy or not enough or chaotic or anxious, those words are powerful. Okay. And those words, when you put those things out there into the world, that is exactly what you will get more of. And so one of the first steps that we can take, and I'll get into this here in a second, is really being mindful of our intentions in the world, right? So what's the opposite of a crazy schedule? A cool, a calm, an in control schedule, right? Getting enough exercise in. And I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just using these examples as I see them. Okay. And that's why I'm not saying names here either. So getting enough exercise in, Sometimes we have this vision of all or nothing, right? Like if I don't get 60 minutes of exercise in every day, then I'm a failure. When in reality, if you did 5 minutes of exercise a day, you would be a person who exercises. You would create the momentum and the habit of somebody who exercises, and you could incrementally increase that as your days and your weeks go on, right? So I always say, like, focus on the 1% better, not this all or nothing, because all or nothing is not sustainable. I can tell you this because I've been there for a very long time, and all that got me was more anxious, more debt, more depressed, more pissed off. I was a very angry person, but it was because I was putting too much on my plate. And I even catch myself now, like that's my go-to emotion. And you guys will all have your go-to emotion. You'll know whether it's stress, whether it's overwhelm, whether it's angry, whether it's sad. You will have emotion that you constantly go to. And so I see a lot of anxiety in here, or stress or overwhelm. That's probably your go-to emotion because that's your safe zone, right? So how do we start to let that go? Mine was anger. I would go from like 0 to 60 very, very quickly, right? It was like everybody was walking around on eggshells. And so how do you rewire that, right? The next one, like taking time for family and friends. So just the concept of I have to take time sounds counterproductive, right? So what we could do is instead create that time for our friends and family and let everything else fall into place. Because sometimes we have work. Well, I shouldn't say sometimes. We all have work. We all have dishes. We all have laundry. But a lot of times we put all of our energy and attention into those. And that is messing up the priorities of our list. So if I were to say what's more important to you, dishes, laundry, work, or family, you would probably say family first, right? But your priorities, the way that you utilize your time, shows me differently. Okay. And so we'll get into that in a little bit here too. Same with debt, same with time, same with energy, same with procrastination. And I have a whole concept around procrastination list, because if you can do the things on your procrastination list first, a lot of times they're the things that we avoid because they're the most uncomfortable, or they're like these huge things that we know we need to do. If we actually do those first, it'll give us more time and energy to go on throughout the day. Okay. So now what I want you guys to do just for a couple moments is going back over your list, because everything has an equal opposite, right? So if you think of like your goal or this thing, so let's say that debt, you pick up a stick and there's debt on one end. There's going to be the opposite of debt on the other end, right? So how do you flip the script? How do you flip that stick so that you're looking at the financial freedom piece? Okay. So instead of saying, I need to pay down debt, how can we say, I want financial freedom? I desire financial freedom. And what's that, financial freedom going to give you? It's going to give you peace of mind. It's going to give you security. It's going to give you the freedom to choose, the freedom of choice. And that's really what you're after. You're not after like the zero debt, like, cool, you have a zero debt in your account, but what is that feeling? What are you going to embody? What feeling will you embody when that debt is zero? And what you usually would get is freedom. Okay. So I want you to take a few moments and just look at what the opposite end of the stick would be on those things. So like comparison. So instead of comparison, maybe I have compassion. Maybe I have empathy. Maybe I have, I can hold space for others and use that as inspiration, right? Unhealthy eating. Maybe instead of saying that I eat unhealthy, I am working towards a healthier me. Okay. It doesn't have to be this all or nothing again. And this is where I get kind of caught up in affirmations because, there's people out there that say, I am a millionaire and I am this and I am that. That's all fine and dandy. Those can be very powerful. But if you don't feel like that's true, then you're actually pushing yourself farther away. It's all about that emotional guidance, right? So if a working affirmation is best for you, then please do that. Okay. Because I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel confident, and I want you to actually feel like it's achievable. And so if you say, I have time freedom, or I have all the free time in the world, but you don't actually believe it, you don't actually feel like that's true for you, it's not going to happen. And that's where the power of manifestation is. So it's how do we tweak how our brain thinks about the things that we desire so that we can feel more in alignment with it. Okay. Does this make sense? And if not, it will here in a little bit, but I want you to take a few moments and just look at the opposite end of that stick and then write that down. Okay. I'm just going to play the music here again. I'll give you just a few moments to write down your equal opposite, and I'll keep giving you a few examples. So like the always late. When you say, I am always late, you are projecting out into the world that you will always be late. Okay. So, what I would suggest is I am working on being on time. I am a person who is working towards being on time. And just give yourself grace with that. Say, I am working on being on time 50% of the time. I am working on being on time one day this week. I am working to be on time 2 days this week, and make it a gradual process. It is hard for somebody to go from 0 to 60, from all or nothing. Again, it's not sustainable. Okay. So just take a few moments and write down the equal opposite to what you do not want. And if you're having a hard time with this, you can always write it down and we can revisit it at the Q&A. And when you're ready, type your equal opposite in the chat box, and I'll go over what the next step is. All right, I'll give you another moment to finish up your thought. Yeah, some good ones rolling in. I like this. And so I wanted to show you something, because it's all about how you feel. From a very young age, we are taught to, rub some dirt on it. Crying gives you a headache. Crying's for sissies. It's not okay to feel emotions. Shove it deep down. And so I was never an emotional person. I was like, people would say, oh, Sasha's as cuddly as a cactus. But now I try to voice my emotions and how I feel more often. And I find that I'm able to live more in alignment and manifest more based on that. It wasn't an easy switch, right? Like I had to be okay with sadness. I had to be okay with anger. But when we can be okay with the bad feelings, it also lets us be okay with the happy feelings. So when we suppress our anger, our sadness, our depression, our anxiety, when we shove that stuff down and don't allow ourselves to actually feel it, we're actually suppressing the equal opposite too. So there's two ends of the spectrum and you have to feel them both equally. Okay. And so that's what I want to teach you guys today is that like, it's okay to feel. All right. So here's a few of the equal opposites that I want to read to you quick. All right. So working on financial freedom. Yes, I love this. This is a working affirmation and it just feels better. And so this person who wrote this, or anybody, I mean, anybody can comment on this. What feels better? If you were to say to myself, I'm working on getting out of debt, or I'm working towards financial freedom, what one energetically feels better? What one emotionally feels better? Okay. Next one, I have empathy for others. And I think this one went back to the comparison. So like you would say, I am working on not comparing myself to others, which again, I'll get to this in a second. So if you say like, I am working on not comparing myself to others, or I have empathy for others, right? So the universe or the law of attraction manifestation does not know the negative term. It does not know how to negate a sentence or a phrase or anything like that. So when you say, okay, give you an example. Everybody here, I want you to not think about a pink elephant. Don't think about a pink elephant. Whatever you do, I don't want you to think about a pink elephant. What are you imagining right now? A pink elephant. Exactly. So there is no such thing as not. You really got to focus on the thing that you desire most. Okay. It's the same concept of like what you focus on, you get more of. It's like if you go buy a brand new red truck, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, everybody and their mom has a brand new red truck. It's because that's where you're focusing on. So where you focus on, where your energy goes, your attention flows, and vice versa. Okay. Next one, I am working on becoming healthier 2 days a week. Yes, I love this. I'm working on becoming more calm by doing daily meditation. Yes. So small, baby, sustainable steps, and just let that be enough. You can build up. And the meditation can literally be 2 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be this big 15, 20-minute, half-hour session that a lot of people say that you need to do to like have the best, whatever. Yeah, you could probably, be the most beneficial out of a 15 or 30-minute. But I'm going to tell you, 2 minutes is better than zero any day of the week. Okay. So just get into that mindset. I am working on managing my time more efficiently. Yes. I am working on going to the gym more frequently. Yes. Again, these are working affirmations and that feels better. I mean, just give me like a thumbs up in the chat box or give me some hearts or something if those feel better than the thing that you do not want. Okay. Making time for me to choose how I spend my day. Yes, I am more confident every day. Yes, you are. I know this person, and yes, you are. I'm working on passing the next test. Yes, I am working towards. Yes, it's not a pass or fail thing. It's not an all or nothing. I am working towards. Okay. I am working on more physical movement. Yes, I am working on doing not putting things off. I would say I am working on completing my to-do list or something along those lines or on more completion. I wouldn't say the not doing or the not putting stuff off again, because if I say, don't put that off, don't put that off, don't put that off, you're going to put it off because that's kind of the energy that you're putting out there. Okay. So that one I would switch a little bit. I am working on better nutrition. Yes. I will find more things that make me laugh. Yes. And again, this can just be a couple minutes a day. One thing that I used to do when I was like really down in the dumps is I would just go to like TikTok or the Reels or like YouTube and just Google like funny, you ever see those like funny animal videos, like horses or dogs or cats just doing totally stupid things, or like people doing stupid things. I just laugh my ass off and like immediately I'm in a better mood. Okay. I love this. I am taking on exactly what I need to. Yes. I am investing in myself. Yes. I am exploring how and why I am feeling in certain ways. Yes, yes, yes. I am working towards being on time. I love that one. Working on setting aside an hour of undivided time with my daughter every day. Yes. And it can be super simple. It can be in the morning. It can be in the evening. It can be like her helping you with dinner. It can be bath time. It can be you guys go on a walk. You can do like anything to make it fun too. When I feel myself getting frustrated, I will walk away for a moment. That is huge. That is huge. I just want to say congratulations for that, because that is a huge one. Okay. Even if you just go in the bathroom and take a few quick deep breaths, that will be a total game changer. Again, it's getting out of that chest breathing and into that belly breathing. Okay. So again, anytime you start to feel like frustrated, you can say like, how is this serving me? And if it's not, change it, flip the script. What's the equal opposite? So if you say like, oh, I'm so angry in this moment. Okay. How is that anger serving you? If that anger is not motivating you into something else, flip the script. Okay. I'm going to let go of anger and I'm going to focus on something else. Now, for those of you who may struggle with like, what is it that I want my big vision? This is where I want you to create the space for yourself to dream. And it can literally be 5 minutes a day. But the thing is that it has to be distraction free. Okay. Or as distraction free as possible. So whether that's meditation, whether that's going on a walk, whatever you do, I want you to do it without your phone. And I know this sounds really like, I can't live without my phone. Keep telling yourself that. See how far it gets you. You can live without your phone. We've all lived without phones. We were born without phones. We will die without phones. We will be able to fully function without phones. And it's crazy to think, and you know, my phone's off. I don't even know where it is right now. Obviously I'm still using technology, but it's somewhere and I'm perfectly fine. I'm functioning. Everything's good. Okay. I've gone without phones for like a week. It's terrifying because you feel like your whole world's falling apart because you've been so like glued to this device. But I promise you that if you can like just remove the distractions, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to be able to let like those downloads come in. And this is where those creative juices come in. Your mind will start wandering. It's like a child in the imagination, right? Like if you pop the TV on, obviously they're going to go sit in front of the TV. If you pop YouTube on, obviously they're going to go sit in front of YouTube. But if you go put them outside for 10 minutes, I mean, sometimes they'll be like, I'm bored. But like before you know it, they'll be like being creative, being imaginative. And so I want you to get back into that childlike state where you're learning to enjoy the moment. You're learning to use your imagination and you're really creating that space to just allow yourself to dream. And this is where the biggest things will come in. These are where your big ideas will come in. And this is where a lot of times that inspired action will come in, because all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, I should go do this. I should go book this trip. I should go do this thing. And that's where that inspired action will come in. And I know I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves here. The other thing that you can do to kind of create space to dream, let me know if this is any of you guys, but you feel like your brain is cluttered, your head is cluttered, your physical space is cluttered. Maybe your car has clutter, your office has clutter, your kitchen has clutter, you have laundry all over the place. It feels like everything in your life is disorganized. That can be a direct reflection of how you feel on the inside. So sometimes simply just cleaning up like your head space by putting everything onto paper so you can organize it, or taking a few minutes each day just to organize your house, whether it's, anything can help you feel more clear. Okay. So does anybody relate to that? Because I know for me, clutter is like a direct reflection of how I feel, like directly, like where you feel like you can't focus because there's just so much stuff everywhere. Try to create space to where everything is like, okay, 100% yes. Okay. Lots of yeses. I feel you there. Okay. Try to find a way to create whatever system, whatever strategy, even if it's just cleaning up, setting a timer for 10 minutes, again, like micro baby steps, right? It doesn't have to be this all or nothing. Cleaning up a certain amount of space in just a few minutes to clear up some of that mental space. Okay. Same thing. Like if you feel out of control on the inside, a lot of times you try to control everything externally. Okay. So just know that however you're feeling inside, you're typically projecting out into your physical world. So we want you to feel good more of the time so that you can receive joy and more good things back to you. Next thing I want you guys to do, and this is just going to be on your own time. It's always a good reminder of just who we are and what we value. So I want you to go check this guy out. It's the Values Factor quiz. There's a few different ones out there. This is just the one that I did. But we all have these core values, right? And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. You know, if you value time, if you value money, if you value family, if you value travel, if you value whatever it is, does your schedule, does your life reflect what you value most? And if not, how can you change up your priorities? Because your schedule will be, again, a direct reflection of what you currently prioritize in your life. And this was a big shocker for me because at the time, And even still, sometimes like work is always on the top of that list. Like I value work, and that's like a big thing for me. And so when I say like I value family, but I have zero family time on there, do I really value family, or am I just not prioritizing family? And for those of you who say like I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy, one thing that I have noticed on like people's iPhones and things like that. I'm assuming Android does this too, but it'll say like user time, like how much have you been on your phone? And that's always a shocker, right? It's like, you've been on your phone this many hours today. And I'm like, holy smokes, like I could have spent that time way more wisely. And so just take a time on it of what you do throughout the day. And this can be how much time you spend on the toilet, how much time you spend doing dishes, how much time you spend scrolling on the phone, how much time you spend in your email or doing unnecessary meetings, things like that. See how you can streamline some of those things. Yes, app limits. Yes, yes, yes. For those of you who don't know, app limits are huge. And I also implement those. And I highly suggest that everybody implements this because it's just going to make you more conscious and aware of how you're spending your day. Okay. Any questions so far before we kind of move on to the next piece? Okay, if you have any, go ahead and type them in the chat box. Next, we're going to talk about letting go. Okay, and this one is huge because a lot of times we don't know who we would be without that thought, or we don't know who we would be without that story. Like if you were not overwhelmed, how would that feel? But sometimes that overwhelm is our excuse for staying stuck, or that anger is our excuse for staying stuck. And I know that sounds harsh, but a lot of times that's our comfort zone, right? Like it's uncomfortable to feel good if you felt bad all the time. And so I want to challenge you, you are not your emotions. Okay. Just use these as a guidance tool. And I really want you just to focus on feeling good more of the time. Okay. And just again, like I feel anger, I express anger, but I am not an angry person. Okay. So don't let that thing have its like control over you, right? So what I like to do is say like, okay, fear, okay, guilt, okay, anger, like you can come in my car for a ride, but you're not going to run the show. So that's kind of how I deal with emotions. And then when I'm done with them, I'm like, okay, you can leave now and we're going to bring joy in and we're going to go for a joyride. But like when we say I am anxiety, or I have anxiety, or I am overwhelmed, or I am stressed, sometimes we're like embodying, we're claiming that over ourselves, and that can be very disempowering. So one thing that I would suggest to do is just be very mindful of how you feel about those emotions, right? So you can say, well, I'm experiencing anger right now, or I'm experiencing overwhelm right now. And think of it as like a symptom, right? So how would you treat that symptom? If I were to tell you I'm angry, how would you tell me to treat that symptom right now? It's like a headache. Oh, drink a glass of water, take some Tylenol, go for a walk, get outside, minimize screen time. Same thing. Like if you're experiencing stress, how can you treat that symptom? Okay, if you're feeling stressed, what can we take off your plate? What can we delegate? What can we designate to other people? Can we create more space for ourselves? And the answer is always yes, you can. Okay, when you say I can't, I can't, I can't, you're just putting blocks on what you're able to receive from the universe, right? So what you ask for, you will receive, but you have to be in the receiving mode. Okay, and so this is what's going to lead us into the next thing, is focusing on feeling good, feeling thoughts. Again, what you focus on, you get more of. So whether or not I tell you to not focus on a pink elephant, you will focus on a pink elephant. But if I tell you, hey, let's focus on a red truck, and the red truck is joy, you'll probably visualize a red truck and what joy looks like. And so you can even take this like creative space for yourself to dream on what that joy feels like to you. And so I want you guys just to take a few moments and really just sit with it. Again, if you need to, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, give yourself just this space right now to visualize what joy is for you. Okay. Don't worry about how it looks right now, but what would bring you joy right now? Traveling, family, a bath, flowers, sunshine. Go ahead and just take a moment and write down 5 or more things that would bring you joy. And then when you're ready, type them in the chat box. I'll give you another moment to finish up your thought. Go ahead and pop them in the chat box when you're ready. Have some really good ones here. Some really good ones coming in. Cool. And before I read these, I want you guys to know that your energy body, your emotional being is a magnet for what you are attracting. So when you say to yourself, like, it rains, it pours, or when you're feeling bad, a lot of, it's like the day that you wake up and right out of bed, you're like, oh, I'm tired and I'm crabby. And then you stub your toe and then you burn yourself with coffee and then you're late to work. And then like the whole day is shit, right? Like, it's just like the whole day goes to shit because that one thing that happened first thing in the morning. Okay. And so this is where, like, when you feel good things happen. And so have you ever like woke up and like, you stretch and all of a sudden like you hear the birds chirping and like the kids are still sleeping, it's still quiet, like the coffee is like on point, like you're driving to work and like you hit 0 trains, you're on time, and it's just like, oh, and then you get to work and then everybody's like nice to you. And so it's like the better it gets, the better it gets. And it's all about mindset and how you set yourself up for the day. Okay. So don't let one thing ruin your day. Let that one thing happen. Let that segment go. Move on to a new segment and say, okay, I'm choosing joy in this moment. And this is where you can laugh, you can shift your energy. But when you can experience joy more of the time, you will attract more joy to you. Okay. You very much absorb the energy around you. And so just be mindful of the things that you're doing and try to incorporate more of these things that I'm about to say throughout your week. Again, don't make them things on your to-do list. Just try to create the space to do them, even if it's for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because that energy, that intention is that momentum will push you into creating more good things in your life. Okay. So laughing with family. Laughter is seriously the best medicine. And I would encourage every single one of you to laugh as often as you can, even if it's forced. And you guys will think I'm crazy. You probably already think I'm crazy, but whatever, we're here and we're doing it. But there has been times where I have literally like looked at myself in the mirror and I just like, I force myself to laugh, and then you're like laughing at yourself, fake laughing. And the next thing you know, you actually like feel better about it. Sounds crazy, but it works. Again, go do like play board games, play tag, do anything that's going to make you laugh more with your family. Doing self-care. Yes. Crucial. And there are so many different components to self-care. Chores prior to my kids waking up. I feel you on that one. That's like sets my whole day up for success. If I'm like, yes, everything's done and everybody's still sleeping, I feel like I am like a goddess soaring into my day. So I love that. Going on a hike with the family. Yes. This again, like anything that you can do to like get more sunshine, be out in nature more, connect with nature more, seriously going to refuel you. It refuel your soul. So anybody, I mean, even if you just go get 20 minutes of sunshine outside, just go put your feet in the freaking ground. Like it will help you just be grounded and be more energized. I love this. Time freedom. Okay. I love that. Coffee, good coffee. Yep. Hugs. I'm not much of a hugger, but I'm learning to be one. So if you guys ever see me in person, just know I'll probably be that like, hi, awkward side hug, or like the butt out hug. Phone calls from a friend. I do love those. If you can incorporate, a good phone call from a friend or a family member each week, absolutely. Travel with my hubby. I feel you on that one. Home improvements. I like the finished product of the home improvement, but maybe not so much the process. I'm trying to learn to enjoy the process. If you feel me on that one, type it in the chat box because I'm just glad that I'm not going to be the one doing it. I'll just say that. Running, I do love running. Spending time with kids and granddaughters. Yes, yes. Spring weather. Yes. Being home with my kids. Nebraska football. Uh-oh. We might have to have some words there. I'm just teasing. I feel you though. Spending time with our whole family, including my parents, sisters, family, brothers, family. Love this. Working out and taking care of myself. Golfing. All things I love. Okay. Being in nature. See, lots of nature too. Spending time with family, being around animals, accomplishing goals. Yes. There's something so like inspirational, so motivational when you can like, you just feel accomplished when you can be like, yes, I hit this goal, you know, even if it's little tiny goals, like that momentum like feels so good. It can project you into the next one too. So you guys are doing awesome here. Seeing my grandchildren, hanging out in the horse barn. Oh yes, horses are like my spirit animal. Anytime I can be around them, it's like such an emotional release. You know, I feel so happy. And if you guys have like a special animal or anything in your life, nature, kids, whatever, I encourage you to spend more time with them. Okay. Taking a beach vacation. Yes, that definitely rejuvenates the soul. I can feel you there. Passing the next test. Home rental complete. Yep. Fitting into smaller jeans. So that one, what will fitting into smaller jeans have you feel? What feeling will that have you feeling? Right. So not necessarily like the jeans, because I don't want to place like a thing on like a weight or whatever, but what will that accomplish for you? What feeling will you embody? And then I would hold on to that. Okay. I love this, you guys. Okay. Let's see here. Where were we? And I think a few of you feel me on that home reno stuff. I saw a couple head nods and I see a couple yes or a yes in the chat box there. So I'm glad I'm not alone on that one. All right. So just creating more space for you to feel more joy. Okay. Letting go of that guilt, letting go of that overwhelm, letting go of that to-do list. The to-do list will never end, you guys. The laundry will always be there. The work will always be there. The dishes will always be there. The sweeping and all of that stuff, house chores, all of that stuff will always be there. What will you remember when you're on your deathbed? And I mean this, I know this sounds very morbid, but this is something, you know, because I've talked to a lot of folks who, you know, have been at that stage of life. And the one thing that they regret is not doing more of the things that brought them joy. And so I have made it my mission to just, you know, do more things that bring me joy. And when we can do more things that bring us joy, it helps us attract more things that will bring us joy too. Okay. It brings more opportunities. It brings more love. It brings more peace. It brings all of the goodness that we desire most in our life back into our life. So when you're on your deathbed, do you want to say things like, well, I'm really glad that I spent all that time doing dishes that never ended, or I'm really glad that I did, you know, I sat on my butt and I watched 8 series of Netflix, blah, 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 blah. No, you want to say like, I'm glad that I was able to connect with my family or travel with my family or do this or do that. So think of like, if you were on your deathbed today, or if you had a week left to live, how would you spend your time? And try just to, you know, rearrange your schedule to do more of those things. Again, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. You don't have to like up and quit your job all of a sudden. But I mean, if creating a new business or something is important to you, how can you start to set aside a few hours a week to do that? And really, if you can set aside 3 to 5 hours a week towards anything you want to manifest in your life, you will see a ton of success. I mean, even if you set aside 30 minutes a week, you will see a lot of success. You know, where your energy goes, where your attention goes, energy flows. Okay. And another thing with like the guilt and the overwhelm, you guys, we cannot pour from an empty cup. I cannot preach this enough. You know, it's funny because every airline you will go on, they will sit there and say, attention, before putting on your mask or before assisting others, put your mask on. You know, they go through that whole thing, right? And it's because like, if you're not breathing, you can't help the person next to you. So why don't we embody this in our everyday life? We always feel like we have to give. And then at the end of the day, we're exhausted and we're pissed off and we're like, nobody does anything for us. Well, what if we took just radical responsibility for how we felt and our actions throughout the world? What if we put more responsibility back on other people? What if we had, you know, better boundaries with saying no to the things that don't serve us and yes to the things that do? Yeah, you might ruffle some feathers. Yeah, you might upset a few people. But if you are feeling good, more people around you will feel good. Think about this. If you have an excellent day and you come home and you're just like, man, I'm in such a good mood. It's like everybody else is in a good mood too, right? It's because you're projecting those good feeling thoughts out into the world. Now, if you come home and you're in a shitty mood, the kids are yelling, this person's yelling, your spouse is yelling, everybody's pissed off. That's because that's what you're like. Everything is like a direct mirror of how you're feeling, right? So if you can feel good more of the time and give 100% of yourself more of the time, why not do that? And so this is where the next piece comes in, abundance, right? I want you to give so much to yourself that you naturally pour into others. Okay. And again, this isn't a process where you just snap your fingers and it happens overnight. Definitely a gradual process of just creating more space for yourself, doing more things that bring you joy, and kind of following the breadcrumbs and trusting the process as you go. Again, like letting go of that comparison. You see a lot of like this 5 a.m. club. Oh, get up at 5 a.m. and do like a million things in the first thing in the morning. Yeah, sometimes that works for people. But take what works for you and toss what doesn't. This is where we're going back to like, you're that horse and carriage and you have your blinders on. You're focusing on your path and not so much over here what Susie Q is doing, right? There can be a million ways to do something. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong. And I mean, even in this workshop, take what works for you and toss what doesn't. Okay. I'm just giving you guidance and tools and support to help you manifest your dreams, to help you create the life that you want to be living. I want you to have more peace. I want you to have more money. I want you to have more calm. I want you to have more travel, more love, more respect, more all of those things. Okay. But you are the one that has to feel it and do it. Okay. So you got to take what works for you and kind of toss what doesn't. And just know that like, you are worthy of feeling good. And just by you feeling good, you're also teaching the next generation to feel good. Okay. So think about your kids, think about your grandkids, think about your community, think about the people that you have an impact on. What are you teaching them? Right. So we can say, do as I say, not as I do. How did that work for you? How many times have you heard that? And you're just like, no, thank you. Right. But if you can see somebody doing it and changing their life and feeling better, you naturally are inspired by that. And you want to do the same thing. It's like teaching your kids, right? Or your grandkids, or inspiring anybody. It's monkey see, monkey do, practice what you preach. Okay. And so if you can't do this for yourself, do this for the next generation. Find your why on why you want to feel better, why you want these things in your life, and hold that really close to you. Okay. All right. Next. How to create an abundance of time, money, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let me start that over. How to create an abundance of time, money, and energy. So first, before I even start this, I want you guys to type in the chat box what abundance means to you. Okay, what does abundance mean to you? I'll give you a couple minutes to write this. Think about what abundance means to you, and then I want you to put it in the chat box. Okay, give you another minute to finish up your thought. I'll start reading some of these. Also, I appreciate every one of you for showing up and participating. I absolutely love this. And it wouldn't be a workshop without you. Okay. So I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not having to struggle for whatever the thing may be. Yes. Abundance is having enough, not struggling. Yes. Having an overflow of something and being able to give to others from the overflow. Yes. Having more than enough of whatever it is. Yes. Is feeling completely aligned and have the freedom to do what makes me happy. Yes. more than enough, more than I need, enough to share. Yes. So you guys all know and understand what abundance is. Okay. And I want you just to take a moment and recognize that we don't necessarily create abundance, we align with abundance. And I mean, if create sounds good for you, then create abundance, right? But really what it is abundance is all around us. It is everywhere. There will always be more than enough to go around for everybody. Okay. Abundance is like air. If you guys were sitting in this room with me, I mean, as long as the world is the way that it is right now, I can't imagine that the air, will just stop in the next however many minutes or days or whatever, right? So like if you guys were all in this room with me, we would all be able to breathe freely and openly, da 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 da. There's abundance going around. Like I don't have to worry about like holding my breath so that Sarah can breathe. I don't have to worry about holding my breath so that Denise can breathe, right? And it's the same thing with time, money, and energy, right? There's an abundance of time. Time is just a concept. And I won't even get into that in here, because I feel like that could be a whole workshop in and of itself. But there's more than enough time. And so when we tell ourselves there's not enough time, time is running out, what do you think you're going to get more of? You're going to feel less time in your life. And so I know it sounds counterintuitive, but when I'm running late for something, I just try to take 3 deep breaths and tell myself, there's more than enough time. There's more than enough time. Everything happens in perfect timing. And sometimes it just calms me down a bit, and instead of saying, I'm sorry, I'm late, I say, I appreciate your patience for waiting for me. Okay. There's a different energy behind there. And I wasn't intentionally trying to be later. I'm not intentionally trying to be late. Sometimes just time gets away from us, right? So we have linear time and we have chronos time. And I want you guys just to write that down, look at it in your own time, but anyways, linear time versus chronos time. So linear time is very much like the time you see on a clock, like now, like we have a 90-minute session, right? But for some of you, it may feel like, oh my God, this workshop is never gonna end. And then others are like, holy shit, we've already been here for an hour. Like, this is insane. Like for me, very much when you're in the flow of things, that's chronos time. And it's like, time is like not real. And so when you can be more excited and be more positive and have a better outlook on life, you'll live more in chronos time than linear time. And naturally you will start to be on time for things because of how you feel and how you shift. And so just do me a favor and write down chronos time versus linear time, and just take a few moments to research that. And I really want you to live more in the moment and in the joy of things. It's like when you're on vacation and you're just like, oh man, like I feel so good. And like that whole week just seems to fly by. But like a week at work, you're like, oh my God, is it 5 o'clock yet? It's like time is dragging. I find that linear time is dragging. Chronos time is like, holy smokes, like I'm having so much fun. This is amazing. Like, I can't believe the time is flying by. Okay. But just recognize that abundance is everywhere. Okay. You can never make yourself poor enough to help others become rich. You can never make yourself hungry enough for others to become healthy. You can never make yourself sick enough for others to become healthy. How do you help others? By becoming that highest, best version of yourself. So if you want to help others by making more money, you better make so much money that you can just freely give to others. If you want to be the healthiest person and teach other people how to become healthy, you teach them health by becoming health. Okay. If you want to teach them how to have more time, you better be so in tune with your schedule and how you want to show up in the world that you can teach others how to be in control of that too. Okay. So you can, again, going back to that, you can't give from an empty cup. Just recognize that by working on yourself and bringing yourself into that higher alignment, you're going to naturally help others rise. Okay. So think about it as like an energetic vibration, like on a scale. Okay. Like you're here and say somebody is here. Okay. If you go down to here, now you're both down here. Okay. Now you both feel like shit. Okay. I want you to stay here and I want you to stay here. Respect yourself, boundaries, do more things that feel good, and naturally inspire those around you to come up to your level. Okay. And if they don't, those people will naturally start to fall out of your life. Okay. And so this is where I really want you to start focusing on the positive outlook. And I'm not talking about positivity like this concept of toxic positivity, because I see that and it irks me. I try not to become triggered by it. So I have to like be very mindful of like, they are, where they're at in their life is just a different place that I'm at. And like, putting a positive swing on things is working for them right now. Okay. I very much recognize that like bad things happen and I want to shift that into like a positive outlook. Okay. And what I mean is like, you can always try to find the lesson, or maybe not always, because sometimes there's bad things that just happen that really you don't have any control of, but you can control how you think, act, and feel about that situation. And so that's really where that positive outlook comes from, right? It's so easy to get wrapped up in the negatives. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the I shoulda, coulda, woulda, or this person's doing that, or I should be doing that, or I'm not doing enough, or I'm not enough. I want you just to let go of all that stuff. Okay. And one thing that you can start doing on a daily basis, and I'm going to have you do this here for just a few moments, is write a list of positive aspects to expand your perspective on whatever the situation is that you are experiencing right now, and how you can start to feel good about maybe that negative experience and see what it can teach you. Because a lot of times we have shit happen to us so that we can learn what not to do, right? It's going back to that first thing. It's like the two ends of the stick. If we didn't have that contrast in life, we wouldn't even know what we desired. Okay. So the contrast is a good thing because it's leading you to what you desire most. So any contrast that you're experiencing in life, any negative feelings, anything like that, is just actually teaching you how you want to feel. The contrast is there for a reason so that you can experience what that shift is going to be for you. Okay. So abundance is really a feeling, not necessarily a thing. It's not like, oh, here's my abundance glass of water. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like there's an abundance of water and I want to feel abundant, right? So like when you can feel abundant, when you can feel grateful, when you can feel happy, when you can feel joy, more of those feelings will start to flow into you. Okay. So I want you to think of just one thing right now that you wish you could improve in your life. It could be the finances, it could be the relationship, it could be the healthy eating, it could be, what else did we have on there? Time management. I want you to pick one of those things and just title it at the top, right? Like healthy eating, or I want to eat healthier, or whatever you're experiencing currently. And then I want you just to write a list of positive aspects. What have you learned about this one thing? What positives have come from that one thing? Okay. Let's try to put a little bit more of a positive swing on it, if you will. So I'll give you just a few minutes. And I want you to write as many positive aspects to that one thing as you possibly can. And it can be the home renovation, it can be money, it can be debt, it can be any of those things, because we can put a positive thing to make it feel better. Okay. And when it feels better, we can lift it and let it go. And when you're ready, go ahead and type in the chat box. Just a few, put your thing and a couple positive aspects of that thing. And see if you can start to feel the shift. Feel the shift. How do you want to feel? finish up your thought. And then we'll move on to the next here. Okay. Better physical health after my back surgery. I'm able to move my body. I'm getting stronger. I'm eating healthier. Yes. I have become mentally stronger. I have seen opportunity and blessings in this obstacle. Yes. And so that just feels, I want you to feel empowered by your choices, right? Because you are the creator of your reality. Okay. Balanced nutrition. I have more energy. I am giving my body the fuel that it needs. I feel better putting good things into my body. Yes. Food is fuel. Food is fuel. Yes, absolutely. And when you can put healthy, nutritious, vibrant, energizing foods into your body, that is exactly how you will feel. Okay. Amazing. You guys are doing awesome. So really the thing that I want to leave you with here is that you are the creator of your reality, right? Like your thoughts, your words, how you show up in the world are very, very powerful. And so I want you to just be mindful. Again, don't beat yourself up, give yourself grace, but try to be more conscious and aware of your thoughts. Okay. So when you say, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy, those are the exact things that you will get back. Okay. It's like any thought you have, any feeling you have is like a boomerang. Whatever you throw out, you're going to get back. Okay. So try to throw out more joy, try to throw out more things that bring you happiness, or try to throw out more things that will create more time, create more energy, create more money in your life. Right. We have a few more coming in. So embracing my schedule, having me time, study time, fitness time, family time, focus on having, not taking time, allowing myself to have it. Yes, the allowing part, I could do an entire workshop on the law of allowance. Okay. Right now, we're just attracting the things that we want into us. But yes, allowing yourself to feel and have that, feel worthy of that, is a whole nother thing. And that's kind of going back to that letting go, right? Like learn to receive. And so going back to you are the creator of your reality, I want you to change your story and really start choosing empowering things. Like if you were to be like Wonder Woman wouldn't stand up and say, I don't have any time, I don't have any energy. She would put her foot down and be like, I have the time, I have the energy, I am going to make this happen. She would stand tall. She would take her power pose and she would find a way to make it happen. So put on that how can I hat and change your story. You are the creator of your reality. Okay. All right. Next, last, and then we'll get into some more prizes. We'll get into a Q&A. We'll get into all of that good stuff here in just a moment. Okay. How to take inspired action. So really, what is an inspired action? And an inspired action is when you do something because you feel a strong inner urge to do it. It's like having that gut feeling, like you guys just know without knowing kind of thing. And it doesn't always have to be a small action step. Usually it can be like even the smallest action steps can be a huge quantum leap into what it is that can send your whole life on a different trajectory, right? It's like that fork in the road. Like, this action, like choosing a path, can be a very simple action, but it can take you down a very different road, a very different lifestyle. Okay. So even the smallest baby steps, even just choosing healthier meals throughout the day, even just choosing to laugh with your family, even just choosing to say no to that thing that you really don't want to do, can send you down a totally different trajectory. Right. So just really trusting your gut, going back to that emotional guidance. Like when somebody says something to you, or when you're brought an opportunity, instead of like going to immediate, like, yes, I'll do all the things, right? Really sit with it and ask yourself, is this something that's in alignment with my big vision of myself? Is this something that I can see myself doing? Is this going to create more time? Is this going to create more energy? Or is it going to give me the lack feeling, right? Is this going to be an abundant feeling? Is this going to be a grateful feeling? Is this going to be overwhelm and stress and lack? And if it's over here, maybe don't do it. Okay. So that's where you start to set those boundaries and take more inspired action and less action just because you think you should. Okay. Another thing with inspired action is get excited. Like, when's the last time you were truly excited about something? And I hope some of you were excited as I was about this workshop, because, oops, I think I just let somebody in. Maybe I didn't. Oh, well, they'll come back, I guess. But I want you to get excited. And so, like for me, for this workshop, I was just like so excited to see you guys. I've been hyping myself about it all week. And it's like that Christmas morning, right? It's like where you like can't sleep at night, you're getting ready to go on vacation. So I want you to activate more feelings of excitement. So you can ask yourself right now, What would get me really excited? Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's booking that trip. Maybe it's telling that person no. Maybe it's asking for a raise. Like, get your heart racing, right? Get those adrenaline juices flowing, because a lot of times that can help with inspired action too. So like if you're, if you're excited about Christmas morning, like you can't sleep and you want to do like all the things and it's like all you can do to like, you know what I mean? Or like when you're packing for vacation, you like the fun is almost like anticipating the vacation, and then you get on the vacation and you're almost like, oh man, like, okay, I'm here, but like all the excitement was before it. So how do we embody more feelings of excitement more of the time? Okay, so if you start to feel blah, if you start to feel just like meh, give yourself 5 or 10 minutes just to journal about something that you can do or something that you can work towards that would be really exciting for you. So it could be creating that side business. It could be joining a marathon. It could be booking a vacation. It could be, going on a hotel by yourself without children or anybody. Like, how cool would that be? Start to think of these things that feel impossible and find a way, put that how can I hat on and make it happen. Okay. And this is the last thing that I'm going to leave you with before we get into the next. And then I will be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. But that's really to create a plan. And I love lists, but I don't want to get too wrapped up in the timeline. I find that sometimes if people are like, I need to get this done in 30 days, they can set themselves up for failure if they don't actually achieve that in 30 days. So, I like to set myself loose timelines for my big goals because I would rather have it happen than not happen. And so this is where I may be a little bit different than some, coaches or inspirational people out there, is because I would rather have you achieve your goal and, like say you gave yourself 30 days to do it. Great. If you don't do it in 30 days, at least you were working towards that goal. And so you can have those feelings of joy and accomplishment from working towards that goal. You're not a failure if you didn't hit that 30-day mark. Extend your timeline a little bit, because I would rather have you finish that goal in 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, 2 years. I would rather have you finish that goal than just give up and not finish it at all. Okay. It's the journey. It is the journey, because as soon as you get to that destination, sure as shit, you're going to have a new goal. Every one of us does. Think about it. Anytime you've achieved anything, you want something more. Like that's just the human nature. And so you have to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, learn to feel joy more of the time. Okay. And if you can get something quicker by feeling more in alignment with it, more power to you. Okay. So when you can feel in alignment with whatever it is that you desire most, a lot of times it will come to you faster, but the more pressure and the more resistance you push on it, the longer that timeline will be. So this is where that letting go comes back in. Let go of all of the expectations that you have placed on yourself. Hold that high vision and just keep taking daily action steps to feel better more of the time. So if I could leave you with one thing from this entire freaking training or this entire workshop, is to do more things that bring you joy. That is my number one thing. We always suppress our own joy. We're always trying to make everybody else happy. We're always putting ourselves on the back burner. Put yourself on your schedule. Put yourself on your to-do list. Make yourself laugh. Do the things that are going to make you feel better, because when you feel better, you will naturally want to give to others. Okay. It's that abundance feeling. You will attract more things into your life that will bring you more joy, bring you more happiness, bring you more excitement. That is the number one thing that I can leave you with, whatever that looks like for you. These are all just tools. These are all just resources. A lot of times we have to let go of a lot of the expectations or a lot of the beliefs that we have around feeling good, but just know that you are worthy. And when you can feel good more of the time, people around you will feel good. You will continue to have more time. You will continue to have more energy, and you will continue to attract more good feeling things and thoughts into your physical reality. Okay. So that is everything that I have for you in a nutshell. Stick with me though, because we're going to do a live Q&A. We're going to do a couple more prize giveaways. Okay. So I'm just going to take a moment. I see a few of you, and I'm just going to call in a couple of you, or maybe I'll go through, and if you can unmute yourself and we'll do like a 30-second recap. You can tell me like what your biggest aha was, and if you have any questions. Okay. And if you can't unmute, if you can't unmute when I call your name, just type it in the chat box. Okay. That's fine too. All right. So the first person I see is Sarah Q. Sarah Q, if you could unmute yourself and just share if you have any questions and what your biggest takeaway was from today. And if you have to type in the chat box, that is fine. But I would prefer if you guys can unmute. And again, like it's okay if you have kids and stuff. Like I'm not like a stickler on that or dogs or whatever. All right, Sarah, are you there? Maybe we'll come back to her. Okay, Denise, I see you next.
I think I'm unmuted, yes. Okay.
I can hear you.
My biggest aha of the day was the inspired action. The aha part of it was that the very first time I reached out to you about attending a retreat has been how all of these other things have fallen into place for me. So it was the gut, the inner pulling that said, I need to do this. And I never, ever, ever thought of that as an inspired action. So that was my aha of the day.
I love that. Yep. And those are inspired actions. Sometimes like it doesn't make sense to us, but like in us, it's just like, I have to do this thing and I don't know why, but I need to listen to this. And you did. And when you can listen to that, exactly. And so when you can listen to that, the universe rewards you, or God or spirit or whatever it is that you believe in rewards you for trusting your gut. So what you did was, I mean,
well, that's why I'm here. So that was the first step.
I love that. Thank you. Okay. So, biggest aha was flipping the switch to positive rather than saying, I don't have time. I love that. No questions that I can think of. I love this workshop and thank you so much for doing this. You're welcome. You are very, very welcome. All right. Michelle Weber, I see you next. Can you, any questions and share an aha if you can?
I'd say probably my biggest aha was what I put out there is what I attract. So putting out what I want to receive back into the universe. And I follow your podcast, so I've listened to like all your podcasts and I love it. And Gina Hammond's the one that kind of
I love Gina.
And so she had reposted the post for this, and I took it as this was my sign that I needed to do this and make that step towards myself and bettering what I want. So
I love that. Thank you. Yeah, I love Gina. She's one of my favorite humans. I'm glad she brought you here, and I'm glad you were able to attend. I'm glad you listened to the workshop or the podcast. Do you have any questions or anything that you want me to help work you through or anything?
The question I did have got answered later on. So
okay. That's what I tried to do with all this. I'm like, I hope like there's so much information in here. And so if you guys need to rewatch this and take notes and all that good stuff, I mean, you're more than welcome. So thank you, Michelle. All right, let's see. Who else do I see here? I see Shiloh, but it looks like you're driving. I don't know if you can unmute or not. If you want. Okay.
Yeah, totally. So my biggest aha moment, and I might lose you, is just like getting away from the saying like, no, like doing the whole I'm going to get out of debt versus I want financial independence, like getting those negatives away. Like that's a big one for me.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, that was a huge shift for me because when I would say things like, I want to pay down debt, I want to pay down debt, I want to pay down debt, all of a sudden I was mysteriously racking up debt and I could not wrap my head around why. But when I kind of shifted how I thought about the process and worked towards like financial freedom or financial independence, it was like a total switch for me. And I was able to, pay down that debt without focusing on the debt, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally. I like that. Like it hit me like a ton of bricks today, like more than ever.
I love that. Those are my favorite haha moments.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for showing up. All right. Courtney McLeod, I see you next. Are you able to either type in the chat box or unmute? She might be able to type in the chat box. Okay. Yeah, if you're unable to unmute, that's okay. I see Rachel next. I don't see a last name, but Rachel, if you want to type either an aha in the chat box or unmute. And actually, I think we have just a few more people. We'll do a couple more. If maybe Justine and Jennifer, if you guys also want to type in the chat box, just an aha moment that you had. And then I can kind of go on to the prizes, because I know you guys are probably like, who is the winner of the next things? Because I have a lot of things that I still want to give away. So stick with me here. Love, love, love this. Okay, switching mentally is the biggest thing always for an aha moment. Yes, 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 yes. Our thoughts are very powerful. I know that there's that, saying as we're kids, like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But words can very much be very, very, very powerful things. So just being mindful of the type of energy and the things that you're projecting out into the world, because really they're a boomerang. Whatever you toss out there, you're going to get right back. Okay. I love this. All right, ladies, if there's any more aha moments, go ahead and type them in the chat box. We are going to do some more giveaways here because I love giving prizes away. So the first three things that we're going to get, or the next three things that we're going to give away, are a journal, a planner, and some jewelry. Okay. And again, I want you to email support@sashadavis.com to claim your prize. And then we'll kind of get into what is next. So hang on, let me share my little spinner giveaway thingy here. Okay, so we're gonna shuffle. And what's our prize that we're giving away actually? Okay, journal is first. So this is for the journal, Law of Attraction journal, okay? Let's see. Diane Sorensen. So Diane Sorensen, I want you to email support@sashadavis.com. You just won yourself a Law of Attraction planner, or journal, I mean. Okay, and we had one more aha moment. Noticing my mental capacity hasn't been in tune. What I want more of. More you think about what you do not want, more you get that negativity. Absolutely. Yep. Okay. All right. So we'll shuffle again, and this one is going to be the Law of Attraction planner. So Diane Sorensen, you get the journal. Go ahead, email support@sashadavis.com. Now we're going to do the Law of Attraction planner. Who gets this one? Denise, you get the planner. This is my absolute favorite planner. I love, love, love this. So email support@sashadavis.com and I will get that planner on over to you. Okay, and the next one, we're going to do some inspirational jewelry. Okay, and this usually they're like little necklaces with a pendant on them that say some type of inspirational saying. Okay, so let's see who gets the necklace. Oh, Diane. We're going to spin again because it's only one winner per. Sorry, Diane. Let's see. Diane's a lucky winner. Who else? Oh my gosh. Denise, is it going to be you again? This can't be. Is this rigged? What is going on? Oh, shoot. Okay, here we go again. Shiloh. All right. Shiloh gets the jewelry. Okay, so go ahead and email support@sashadavis.com and claim your prize. Again, all of you, thank you. And then if you want to stick around, what's next? I do have two different things. Oops, hang on. For those of you who are like, okay, I want more. If you want more, if not, go ahead, hop off. Like there's no hard feelings. I do have 2 opportunities that I love working with people. And so I want to give you that space to be able to do that. You're more than welcome to continue to join these free workshops. Like more power to you. Listen to the podcast, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. Do whatever you need to do, right? But if you're looking for that more support, that's what I'm going to kind of get into here. And I want to make sure that I answer all of your questions there. Okay. So the first thing that I do have that's probably the most time sensitive, I guess you would say, is I have an upcoming Black Hills retreat. This is a 4-day mind, body, spirit retreat in the Black Hills of South Dakota. It is April 15th through the 18th. I do have a few spots, like spaces are very, very limited, but this is definitely like an in-person experience. We'll have yoga and healthy foods and lots of workshops within there, some one-on-one coaching, some energy healing. I know a few of you who have been on this workshop have also been to that retreat. So I don't know if you want to pop in the chat box what your experience was for those so that they can kind of get a better understanding. You know, I've been hosting these retreats for a little over 3 years now. I try to do a spring one and a fall one. Eventually I will do a summer retreat. I've just been having summer babies. So it's hard to have a retreat when you're, 9 months pregnant. So someday, maybe next year, I will host a three and do a spring, summer, and fall. But yes, those retreat experiences are incredible. I absolutely recommend anybody being on one. Plus, it's just nice to see people in person now. I know it's so weird, like not seeing people. So it's just cool to be able to like be in space with those people and like really like we have like a self-care package that you get. So I have all of my favorite self-care goodies that I give to you upon arrival. And it's like the most transformational experience. I can't explain it enough. I also have a podcast on it too. So if that's something that you're interested in, let's just get on the phone. Let's chat about it. And you can head on over, I think it's sashadavis.com/clarity-call, and we can talk about the Black Hills retreat. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is the Manifest Your Dream Life group program. And so this is going to be a shorter, condensed version of what my traditional group program is. For those of you who are looking for like a smaller step, but aren't quite ready for like a 6-month or a year-long program, this is going to be a 90-day intensive, really to help you work with you directly so that you can really gain clarity on what you want, let go of any limiting beliefs, and take inspired action, right? And so, and I totally encourage you to continue to read the books and to listen to the podcast and do the workshops and do all the things. But sometimes it's nice to have that support person there, or somebody that has that different perspective, or somebody who's kind of an expert in that area, come in and say, hey, try this or do that, and just make some tweaks in your life and help you kind of let go of those things that aren't serving you so that you can create the space for more of the things that are. Okay. And so what that looks like is it's a 90-day group program. You get the Manifest Your Dream Life online course, and you have lifetime access to that, right? So it's 12 modules, similar to all of the things that we went through today. Plus I have bonuses that go within there. There's going to be 20 different things that you can do. It's kind of like, take what works for you and toss what doesn't out of those 20 different ways that you can use the law of attraction and manifestation in your life. But I guide you through that process, both with coaching calls, group coaching calls, and through the online course. Okay. So it is a 90-day intensive. You also have that private Facebook group, and you also have weekly accountability. Okay. So everything that you could possibly want to help you kind of get a quick jump start on what it is that you want most and how to take action quickly, uncover any limiting beliefs and learn to let them go, just to really feel like that highest, most abundant self, really. And it's like the gift that keeps on giving, because a lot of the women that I've worked with have been able to not only transform their lives, but transform the lives of their students, of their coworkers, of their family, of their communities. They've been able to start businesses. They've been able to make more money. They've been able to be the happiest, healthiest versions of themselves, So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. And I really just want to help you get to that point. And so that's how we do it, is through that that online course, which is a component of it, coaching calls, you have intensives with me, the private Facebook group, the accountability. Anybody who wants to sign up before April 5th, you will also get different bonuses or certain bonuses that would be included with that. So the unlimited Voxer access just means that I'm available to you essentially 24/7. So if you need anything, I am just a message away. You can voice message me, you can text message me, whatever works best for you. I am there to support you as much as I possibly can, get from where you are to where you want to be and continuously feel good about the life that you are living, right? Another bonus that I'm going to throw in is the magnetic morning. Okay. And so this is how to set your day up for success. I was kind of talking about this throughout the workshop, where if like you wake up, you stub your toe, you burn yourself with coffee, you're late for work, you know, how to set your day up for success so you can attract more good feeling things throughout your day. So that's why I call it the magnetic morning. Is you're really learning how to manifest the things that you desire most in your life by starting off your morning on the right foot, literally, right? The other thing that I'm going to include in there is master your money mindset. So a lot of you I know are working on financial freedom, financial independence. You want to pay down debt. You want to feel good about the money that you're making. I'm going to teach you exactly how I do that, right? And whether that's making more money in your current job, whether that's learning how to manage finances, whether that's just changing your mindset around financials and the belief systems that you have. Like when I grew up, we very much lived paycheck to paycheck. We were on every type of government assistance you could possibly think of. I remember my parents, they would always say things like money doesn't grow on trees. You got to work hard to make more money. And I remember from a very young age, I got my first job when I was, in high school, and I wanted to play sports, and I had to go work a part-time job just to be able to, pay for my volleyball shoes, and so I always grew up with and I was working 3 jobs, I was doing all these things. And so when I started to take action and shift my mindset around money and how I could really master that mindset, things absolutely started to shift for me. So now I have much more of an investment mindset than a lack mindset, or an abundance mindset versus a lack mindset. So I want to teach you exactly how I do that. And then for those of you who are interested in either starting or scaling your business, I'm also going to throw in that course. So what that looks like is teaching you all of the ways that you can have either start or scale a business that's in alignment with how you want to feel. So sometimes we get stuck in a dead end job that we don't necessarily want to be at, which was where I was at. Not that it was a dead end job. I was very much in a high position at a corporate career. It's funny because I went from this person who was doing drinking all the time and getting into trouble all the time, didn't even know if I was going to be into college, to somehow managing to go through college, and I was just such a shithead, you guys. Go listen to the podcast, because there's so many different stories on there that may or may not resonate with you. But if I can shift my life around, I absolutely want to teach you how you can shift your life around, because if I can do it, anybody can do it, seriously. And so the Start and Scale Your Business course is just really teaching you how to, and this can be anybody in any type of career, right? It's teaching you how to live in alignment with how you want to feel and how you can make more money on your own terms. Okay. Plus, if anybody mentions this live training, I'm going to give you $500 off whatever program you decide to go with, whether it's one of the retreats or whether it's one of the 90-day group programs. Okay. So go ahead. Next thing. So what others have to say about working with me? I don't know if you recognize these faces. You may or may not. They may have invited you to come to this training. They may not. So Marissa, I've worked with her in some capacity over the last 3 years. She went from full-time teacher to full-time CEO, work at home mom, right? And so what she has to say is thank you so much for creating an amazing experience. It was life-changing for sure. Marissa's worked with me on a couple different occasions, and she's also, she's attended a couple of retreats, or one retreat. She's going to be attending this next one too. And feel free to reach out to any of these ladies. I'm sure that they would be more than happy to share their personal experience with you. But yeah, Marissa went from that overwhelmed, burnt out, 9 to 5 teacher job or 8 to 4 teacher job to being able to be at home with her babies and kind of create life based on her terms and have her own business. She actually has the Self-Care Haven. She has the Self-Care Haven podcast. You can check her out. She's got tons of great resources on self-care. So if self-care is something that you're working on, hit up Marissa. She is incredible when it comes to that kind of stuff. Now, Carrie, I have been working with for about a year now. And what she has to say is Sasha is different than anyone I've ever worked with. This is like weird, like saying these things to people. She's an outside person holding me accountable. She has the experience of starting her own business and helping others do the same. She has all the mindset tools and knowledge to make it happen. And not that, again, like this doesn't all have to be business based, but sometimes that helps give you the freedom that you're desiring most in life. And so if that is a component of it, we will absolutely work on that, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes you just want more freedom in your current role, whether that's a stay-at-home mom, whether that's a grandma, whether that's just, whatever career it is, whether you're an agency owner or a business owner or a CEO or a retail worker, whatever that is. Sometimes it's just looking for more control of what your life looks like and how you can really embody a sense of freedom. Right. And so Carrie, first started working with me, didn't know what she wanted. So definitely gaining clarity on that piece with her. And now she is a postpartum doula. And so she has managed to, even make a bigger impact on these women and support women who are in that postpartum role, that prenatal role into that postpartum role. And you can check her out at Carrie Benson Village just to see kind of her transformation too. The last one that I'll get into today, and there's many, many more stories that I could share, but I do want to be mindful of your time. And if you want more referrals, I'll absolutely give you. I will share all the stories under the sun. I know one of you mentioned Gina. You can absolutely chat with Gina of all the things that she's managed to accomplish in the last 2 or 3 years. Again, she's one of my favorite humans too. Ariel. So Ariel, again, has been working with me in some capacity for a few years now. And she says it's literally been life-changing working with Sasha. I would absolutely recommend it to every single person who feels like they need more in their life, but needs guidance or a push in the right direction. You won't regret it. And so Ariel went from she was working at a different kind of helping with a family business, stay-at-home mom. She didn't really know what she wanted to do with her life. She didn't really feel creative. She was very overwhelmed, very angry. Me and Ariel had a lot in common when it came to like emotional vibration and things like that. And so helping her learning how to let go of all of those things that kind of control you throughout the day, like the perfectionism, the overwhelm, the anger, things like that, letting go of those feelings and creating more space for that creative time. And now she has also created a business. Again, like you guys don't have to create a business. I just, for some reason, these three all have. But she now also runs like a self-care. What she does is like bath bombs and oils and these boxes, these self-care boxes, and they're beautiful. And so you can check her out at Divine Oil Co. LLC. She's on Instagram at Ariel Kuchel, and you can also find her at divineoilco.com. And you can kind of see her transformation too. And she goes to vendor fairs and she goes to farmers markets, and she has these incredible bath bombs and these incredible calming oils. She actually just did this chakra set not too long ago to help with the energy bodies in your energy system. And so it's just really cool to see what her process was too. Cause I remember one of our first conversations was, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know if I can do this. I'm not creative. I'm not this. I'm not that. And she turns out to be one of the most creative people I know. So it's just really cool to see these transformational processes. Yes, love them. People love these chakra roller sets, you guys. Like just anything that these ladies have been putting out there. And even some of these other ladies, like I said, I have story upon story upon story of just success stories. There's been some women who have joined me and they've been able to ask for raises and they've made $10,000 to $20,000 more per year because they're actually asking for what they're worth. I've had some people who join me and they've tripled their income in the first 30 days. I've had some people work with me and they've been able to let go of, toxic people in their life, toxic family members. I've had other people be able to manifest their dream life, their dream career, win trips, win casino things, land top podcast guests. They've been able to just feel more in alignment. They've been able to run marathons. They've been able to, just do incredible things that they didn't even think were happen or could happen because I helped them create the space for themselves to believe in themselves, to allow themselves to receive, to manifest those things that they desire most, because they are worthy. And if I can teach you guys how to do this, and you can turn around and teach others how to do this too, again, it's like that ripple effect. I am just a small drop in a pond, and you guys are the ripple effect. So if I can make an impact on you, and you can make an impact on each other, and then eventually we'll make a bigger impact on the world. I know that's a very big goal. It is a goal of mine. But think of how much better of a place this would be if we were, this place that we were living in. And so that is what I truly, truly want to do, is just help you guys feel in alignment with how you want to feel. And so in addition to joining any of these programs, what I'm going to do is a portion of your investment will also go towards one of our favorite local charities. And you have the option to choose. Okay. So again, I want to just keep, embody that pay it forward, right? So you can either choose nature conservation, you can choose helping children with disabilities, or you can choose rescue animals. These are all things that are very near and dear to my heart. These are things that I donate to on a regular basis. And I don't really advertise it, because honestly, I don't really think it's anybody's, whatever, it's nobody's business where I put my money or whatever. But I want you guys to know that a portion of your proceeds, if and when you join, will go to one of these 3 charities. And so we will have that conversation on your free clarity call. And then you can kind of choose where you want to, intentionally choose where you want to spend your money, essentially, right? And so choose where you can make a difference. So just know that I will also honor that the Pay It Forward program for anybody who works with me. I definitely want to, put a portion of that investment towards one of these places who will continue to make this world a better place. Okay. And so last but not least, one more giveaway. We're going to do $100 cash. So give me just a second here. Let me share my spinner screen. And we'll do a couple shuffle. We'll see who wins. And you can only win once. I know I didn't say that in the beginning, but you can only win once. So Denise and Diane, I know you're winning like crazy. Let's see here. Marissa, you win the $100. All right, Marissa Rader. So go ahead, email support@sashadavis.com. You get $100 cash. And thank you everybody for joining today. Really, the last thing that I have to say is, if this resonated with you at all, please head over sashadavis.com/clarity-call, and let's just have a conversation, right? I'm just a human having a human conversation. If it leads somewhere, great. If it doesn't, no big deal, right? There's no harm, no foul. I'm not going to push you in a corner and say anything. I just want to have a conversation and show you what's possible. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, maybe another time. Okay. So thank you all for showing up. I love and appreciate you. This recording will be available later today. And if you need anything, please either book a call, let's have a conversation, or send me an email, support@sashadavis.com. Again, any winners throughout today, email support@sashadavis.com to claim that prize. And we will be sure to get that over to you ASAP. All right. So much love, gratitude, abundance, appreciation for everybody that showed up today. Thank you. And until next time, see you guys.